like a river, ever changing as it flows, and a dreamer's just a vessel that must follow where it goes. Trying to learn from what's behind her, never knowing what's in store, makes each day a constant battle to just stay between the shores. And I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry, like a bird upon the wind. These waters are my sky, I'll never reach my destination if I never try, so I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry. Too many times we stand aside and let the waters slip away, to what we put off till tomorrow has now become today. So don't you sit upon the shoreline and say you're satisfied. Choose to chance the rapids and dare to dance the tides. And I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry, like a bird upon the wind. These waters are my sky, I'll never reach my destination if I never try, so I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry. And there's bound to be rough waters, and I know I'll take some falls, but with Spirit as my guide, I can make it through them all. And I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry, like a bird upon the wind. These waters are my sky, I'll never reach my destination if I never try, so I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry. Yes, I will sail my vessel till the river runs dry. Till the river runs dry. Garth Brooks, that's mine.
That's my guy.
Thank you.
Good job.
I owe that to the 90s when I listened to country music instead of cool music, because the person I was married to at the time was very country at the time. So yeah, but I do love Garth Brooks. I'm just gonna put this away. So our theme for November is prosperity. And what the guiding thought from the Center for Spiritual Living is that through the richness of our teaching and its application, we value the principles of abundance and its expression as prosperity, as a means to provide resources to empower our personal and collective vision. And so the theme for this month has been prosperity, and flowing from that, the theme for today is gratitude. And of course, these themes come from the United States, from our home office out of Denver, and so it's American Thanksgiving this coming week, so it really makes sense that this today is all about gratitude. So gratitude, we know, unlocks a lot of goodness in our lives. There's been many, many studies in health and psychology about how gratitude affects us, our bodies, our minds. We know that gratitude also unlocks our ability to be in relationship with other people in a more full and present way. We know that gratitude allows us to give of ourselves, and when we give of ourselves, that energy of giving comes back to us, and it brings greater abundance in our lives. So there's so many wonderful things about gratitude that we want to embrace this as a part of our path to prosperity, as a part of our path to abundance and living a good and abundant life. And I thought to myself this week about the idea of gratitude, and I wondered what makes us not grateful. What is it that stops us from being grateful? And I was thinking about this sign that I have at work. I have it just up over top of my door so that when I'm turned to face a client, it's right up there as a reminder for me, and it says, "Give like you have plenty." And for me, that is a really deeply, richly meaningful statement. And I've had that sign for a number of years now, and I had that in my office when I worked for income assistance. And there were a couple times when that kind of rubbed people the wrong way. Interestingly enough, not clients. I didn't have the client interaction in my office there at that time. But what I did have was other staff members that came in. And there was a couple of times when people would say things like, "Well, that's all fine and good to say give like you have plenty, but you are giving the government's resources, and we have legislation that we need to follow." And so it was then all about the money, what money I was giving people on income assistance, as if I could give people more than they deserved at the lowest time of their life. And what I just brought that back to was, well, how interesting, because that has nothing to do with money. That's giving of myself. That's giving of my love. That's giving of my service to people. And yet it also does have to do with money. It has to do with everything. It has to do with all parts of my life. And so I looked at that situation, I looked at that kind of interaction with people, and I wondered, what is it that makes them read that sign differently than I do? And I think what it is that when you're looking at your life from a perspective of feeling lack and constriction, that things, talking about giving, talking about plenty, talking about gratitude can be difficult. It can be hard to be grateful when your perspective is that of lack. And so I was remembering an email. Remember way back in the day, I don't, everybody here is probably old enough to remember, back in the day before Facebook, when instead of getting memes on Facebook, you would get those like emails from people that says pass this on, and there would be like sometimes it would be an inspirational thing, sometimes it would be just a chain letter or whatever on email. But I got this one, and it had to have been, I'm going to say about 15 years ago maybe. And it was really impactful to me. And I thought, even if the numbers on this might not be exactly correct, the idea behind it is really true, really correct. And so I went looking for it this week, and I found it online. Where is it? So I'm going to read it to you. If we could shrink the Earth's population to a village of precisely 100 people, with all the existing human ratios remaining the same, it would look something like the following. There would be 57 Asians, 21 Europeans, 14 from the Western Hemisphere, both north and south. 8 would be Africans, 52 would be female, 48 would be male, 70 would be non-white, 30 would be white, 70 would be non-Christian, 30 would be Christian. 6 people would possess 59% of the entire world's wealth, and all 6 would be from North America. 80 would live in substandard housing. 70 would be unable to read. 50 would suffer from malnutrition. 1 would be near death, and 1 would be near birth. There's another version that says 2 would be near birth. 1 would have a college education. 1 would own a computer. When you consider our world from such a compressed perspective, are you among the fortunate? I certainly am. And if you woke up this morning with more health than illness, you are more blessed than the millions who won't survive the week. If you have never experienced the dangers of battle, the loneliness of imprisonment, the agony of torture, or the pangs of starvation, you are ahead of 20 million people around the world. If you attend a church or meeting without fear of harassment, arrest, torture, or death, you are more blessed than almost 3 billion people in the world. If you have food in your refrigerator, in fact, if you have a refrigerator, if you have clothes on your back, a roof over your head, and a place to sleep, you are richer than 75% of this world. If you have a bank account, if you have money in your wallet and spare change in a dish someplace, you are among the top 8% of the world's wealthy. If your parents are still married and alive, you are very rare, especially in the United States. If you can read this message, you're more blessed than over 2 billion people in the world that cannot read anything at all. That's perspective. That stuck with me for a very long time. In fact, it's still obviously because I went looking for it this week. So when I think about gratitude and about how some days my smallness, my pettiness finds it difficult to find something in my life to be grateful for, I recognize that it's perspective. That I have more to be grateful for than most of the world. That we are privileged to be who we are, where we are, when we are. Understanding that level of privilege in myself, that to me is a call for me to do more in the world. It's a call for me to be more in the world. And so one of the things that I did this past week, thanks to Sarah over there who sent me a link for the list, Steph and I are going to be involved in the Trans Day of Remembrance this coming week, as Jess was mentioning. And so there's a list of names of people, transgender people throughout the world who have been murdered or who have died from violence. And it was heartbreaking to read. I reformatted it. There's about 12 names per page, along with their country of origin and where they and what happened. And there's 25 pages. 25 pages. I am blessed. I am in a place of privilege to be who I am in my life. And it's not even just because I have a refrigerator and a bank account and I live in North America and I'm not on that list. It's not even just because that. It's because Spirit, God, the universe, consciousness itself has chosen me, has chosen this place, this time, this expression to show up, to be, to awaken, to experience. I get to be here. I get to be in this place, in this experience, in this expression, right here and now. Ernest Holmes writes, "No good can come to us unless it makes its advent through the center of God consciousness which we are." To help those in need is indeed a great privilege, but the blind cannot lead the blind. We must awake to the realization that a divine partnership has already been formed between the seen and the invisible, between the seen, which is you and I, and the invisible, which is the divine. We have that divine partnership already. We are part of the same thing. We are the same thing. We are the divine in expression. He also writes, life lies open to me, rich, full, abundant. My thought, which is my key to life, opens all doors for me. I am one with infinity, divinity. I realize this unity. I proceed on my way as one who knows that God goes with him into an eternal day of infinite privilege. I have only to open the portals of my soul and accept that which is ready to express through me. Today I fling these portals wide. Today I am the instrument through which life flows. We are the center of God consciousness. We are the instrument through which life flows. This is our birthright. This is our opportunity. This is our ability to have dominion over our thoughts and attitudes. This is our privilege. We have this ability to create a world of abundance by acknowledging and honoring and living in gratitude every day. That is how we create goodness around us. We create the goodness that is already inside of us by just allowing it to flow from us and through us as the divine flows through us. We are the hand of God. We're here to do and be and experience that which the divine has chosen through us, that which we choose as members of that divine mind. This is who we are. We are so blessed, so privileged. And so this is where I turn myself to gratitude, because I know when I see this life with a different perspective, when I see how much we each really have, how much I have, how much ability for joy and love and peace and harmony and goodness and givingness that I have, that brings gratitude in my heart. That allows me to open the floodgates of gratitude in my life. So some of the things that I'm grateful for. I am grateful that my hand can be the hand that lifts another up, because I know that there are other days when there is another hand lifting me up. I am grateful that my faith, that my belief, that my knowingness can be the rock for other people to rest upon. Because I also know that there are times in my life when I need to rest on another person's faith. We're all woven together in this life. I am so very grateful for my time, talent, and resources, for my financial ability to support that which grows me in my life. Things like this Center for Spiritual Living. I'm so grateful for the ability to contribute to this center, to be one of the pillars that holds the roof up. And I'm so grateful to know that there are others around me who are also that are also the pillars of time, talent, and treasure that hold the roof up for us, that create this space where we get to transform lives, where we get to transform each other's lives, and where we get to bring that out into the world around us. How fantastic is that we get to do this in our lives, that we get to have this experience, that we get to serve and give in this way. And I'm grateful, immensely grateful, for the privilege of just simply being alive. To experience, to know, to love, to give. This life that we lead is so beautifully sacred, so precious. Every moment of it, even those that feel like struggle, are so precious, so rich. I am grateful every moment to be alive, to be given this gift of being the hand of God, the voice of God, the heart of God, the mind of God. To be given this gift to be able to experience. This is a huge privilege that has been bestowed upon me. Ernest Holmes writes, "When we shall all know the truth, then ways and means and methods will be found for the freedom of all. Within us is this inborn possibility of limitless experience. Ours is the privilege of giving birth to it." So my encouragement for you for this coming week, as for the rest of your life, is to just know that different perspective of how privileged you are, and know that from that you have so much to give, that you have so much of value in your life that you can give out into the world and serve out into the world to transform lives, because that's what we're here for. So Dawn, can you click it onto the next one and we'll do our affirmation for this week. Oh, no, next. Oh, that's me. There we go. Weekly affirmation. With gratitude, I open myself wide to the expression of my good. Today, I am the instrument through which life flows. And so it is. Thank you for being here today.
Yeah, thank you.